Hello everybody, it's Delilah. Welcome back to my channel. William is joining me here today. He is... You are so cute! You might just see him in the background while I film. Zach took the kids out this morning so that I could sit in quiet, film this video. I've got plenty of laundry to fold. We're just gonna sit and we're gonna chat. I know how much you guys love these videos. Feels like we're just sitting down as moms together, folding our laundry together, or like having a chat one-on-one. And I think it's kind of cool. And I can get laundry done at the same time, which is always a plus. So I went over to Instagram. I got you to ask me questions just about anything. So there's a lot of questions about Christmas, about postpartum, about just motherhood stuff, stuff about me personally, work stuff. There's a whole lot of topics that we're covering in today's video. So just sit back, relax, or grab some laundry and let's fold laundry together. We set up our Christmas tree yesterday, and as you can probably see, the kids decorated it very beautifully. My favorite part about their decorations is how there's at least 5 balls, Christmas ornaments, on a single branch. I think it's a nice touch. We're gonna leave it that way because that's how they decorated it, and I think it's cute. I might rearrange it eventually. It might start to bug me, but right now it's cute. I'm also still in the process of rearranging our living room to accommodate the tree. So it's kind of a work in progress, but this is what we've got. We've got a cute little corner for the time being. Here's my question to you. How do you do laundry? Do you like divide it up per person? Do you divide it up into like colors? I divvy up my laundry by doing kid stuff, adult stuff, and towels and blankets. Those are like the 3 categories I do. Completely random and besides the point, but here we are. The first question, cloth diaper update, 3 babies now, how's it going? It's going all right. We're not very dedicated to it at the moment. I just don't have as much time as I did before. Not that I had a lot of time before, but I guess I just haven't made it as high a priority as I did before. And so we've still been cloth diapering, or sorry, disposable diapering at night and when we leave the house, just because when you do cloth diapers, you go through them a lot faster, and I find like when we're out and about with the car seat, the pressure of the seatbelt on his diaper just like makes it leak much faster, and I just don't really feel like dealing with leaks. And so I haven't been super dedicated to it. But other than that, it's just second nature at this point. What time do you go to sleep and do you get up early every morning? So this week actually, Zach and I both have officially started, or have officially we're officially trying to start waking up early every morning. And by early, I mean 6:30, which is not as early as I used to wake up. I used to wake up at 5 every morning, and I loved it, and I'm working my way there again. For now, because he's up frequently throughout the night, we're starting with 6:30, and we try to go to bed no later than 11. It doesn't always work out that way, and we're trying to go to bed sooner than that, but that's just how it's been lately, and it seems to be working pretty good. Like, we've gotten 4 days in a row we've been out of bed by 6:30, which is pretty good for someone who the last 5 months, he's 5 months to date. For the last 5 months, we've been getting up at 8 o'clock when the other kids wake up. Have you had trouble with tummy time with any of your kids? And if so, what helps? We had a lot of trouble with tummy time, especially with Eloise. She screams the whole time. Theo, he didn't love it. He didn't hate it. William, he actually enjoys it. He will be content to lay on his stomach for a long time. And he holds his head up so good. Like, he's really good at it. But the thing is, I feel like doctors and nurses push it a little too much. I know it's in their best interest to do tummy time and to build those neck muscles and to be off of their heads, and there's definitely importance in tummy time, but I don't think it's necessary to push it as hard as the doctors are pushing it. So with Eloise and Theo, I really never pushed it. I didn't make them do tummy time unless they were content to do so, and they turned out just fine. But if I was really trying to like get them to be on their tummy just for a little while, I'd put something in front of them to entertain them. So when Eloise was a little older, I did like a baking dish with water and bath toys, so she could like splash and play in there. We got this guy in a KiwiCo box we've been using for William, which has been really sweet. It's got lots of like fun textures and colors and mirrors, and it's double-sided too. So there's a lot for him to look at here, and it helps keep him entertained. If you stopped making YouTube videos, would you keep your channel and old videos up? For a while, I think I would. Because as long as they're up and people are watching them and there's ads on my channel, I do still get a small income. Now that income decreases dramatically the less videos I put up, and if I were to stop putting up videos altogether, that would, like, the amount of money I'd make each month would go down quickly. But it would be something. And I know I've got a lot of like really useful videos for new moms as well. So videos like that I would for sure leave up. But I think when the time comes and I stop making videos altogether, hey, how you doing? I think eventually I would take down the personal videos just because it's personal. It doesn't need to be online forever. How are you really? Is everything okay? Thank you for asking. Everything is good. Like, I am really okay. Mentally, I'm doing really well. This time of year is always, you know, really fun with Christmas, and it's usually January, February, March that I struggle a little bit mentally. I get kind of down in those cold, dark months when it's super cold outside, can't really go and do anything. But right now, I'm doing really good. Like postpartum, I've had no baby blues, nothing like that. Like I'm doing well. What's on your Christmas list this year? That is a fun question. I don't have a lot on my Christmas list. Like I don't need anything. I'm gonna pull it up for you though, because I do have a few small things on there. Some things I'm like, that would be kind of nice. Things like cozy blankets, a film camera. There's these really pretty Bible coffee table books from Alabaster Co. A new kettle, candles, a cocktail shaker, a puzzle, linen tea towels, things like that, a wooden cheese board, mostly just like little fun things. Oh, my question to you, what's on your Christmas list this year? What is like the biggest thing that you really, really, really want for Christmas? What do you do during the day when you need a few minutes to yourself? I make sure the kids are safe and okay for me to leave for a few minutes, and then I'll take an extra long bathroom break. That is what I do. And when I go to the bathroom, my kids are not allowed in the bathroom. What is your favorite thing about what is your favorite thing about each of your kiddos at this moment? This with William, his cooing. He's been cooing so much, and lately when he yawns, he makes noises when he yawns like we do, and it's just the cutest thing. His little voice is the sweetest. Eloise is her curiosity and her laughter. Oh, her laugh is so contagious. I love her laugh. And Theo, he is just so excited about so many things these days. Like he's very intrigued by dinosaurs, by cars, by remotes and figuring out how things work, and tools, and like there's so many things that he's really interested in and intrigued in right now. And he's starting to learn bigger words. So when this little guy says such big words, it's just so funny and so cute. I want kids, but my husband isn't ready. How do I be okay with that? That is really tough. The biggest thing in a marriage, I think, is to have communication. Having serious conversations, polite, serious conversations with your spouse about things like this is really important, and to have those conversations on a regular basis, saying how you feel and not casting blame on the other person. And in a biblical marriage relationship, so this is kind of how me and Zach and I approach our marriage and big decisions and things like this, is the wife must submit to her husband, and the husband must love his wife as the wife loves the church. So in his decision making, he needs to keep in mind the best interest for his wife, for his children, for his family. Now I know not all relationships are like that, and that's when it gets really, really tricky. But in a situation like this, like you really need to be on the same page as your husband. Otherwise, everything will just fall apart. So I would pray, if it were me, and this was my situation, I would pray. I would pray that the Lord would change my husband's heart, so that our hearts would align. And if that's not God's will, I would pray that he would change my heart, and that I would have peace with where we were at. There is a lot of power in prayer, and the Lord wants us to come to him and to talk to him about this stuff. I know this approach might seem silly to some, but that's from a biblical standpoint, from a Christian standpoint, that is what I would do in that situation. What's your favorite tradition around the holidays? Ooh, there's so many good ones. There's a lot of traditions that we like to do, especially now that we have kids. The magic of the season, seeing it through their eyes, is just so beautiful and so pure. I think one of my favorites is just getting dressed up in our jammies, having something hot to drink, maybe grabbing a snack as well, and then heading out the door, getting into the van and driving around looking at Christmas lights. We listen to Christmas music, we have fun, uplifting conversations, and we just really enjoy each other's company. Man, you're like kicking yourself away. Where are you going? Do your kids wake up in the middle of the night at the same time, and how do you manage? For quite some time now, my oldest two they never wake up in the middle of the night unless one of them falls out of the bed or they have a really, really scary dream, which hasn't happened for a long time. There was a time, oh poor Theo, there was a time when he would wake up crying often in his sleep. I don't think he was fully awake. But he'd be crying and he'd be like, Eloise took something from me. And it was like the same thing every time. Oh, the poor kid, he woke up crying all the time. It hasn't happened for a while, so that's good. But in that case, we'll comfort him and he'll go back to sleep. It's not a big deal. It's really only William who's waking up in the middle of the night right now. But what's nice is that since Zach is working from home, he doesn't have to be at a job at a certain time every morning. He can help me. How do you deal with the constant nagging and invading space from your kids? That is tough. That's a tough one. That is something that I will forever be trying to deal with and find patience with. A lot of prayer. Having time just to yourself in the morning before the other kids are awake is crucial for me. To just get my mind in the right headspace, to be prepared for whatever comes that day, to spend time with the Lord, to pray, to read the Bible, to just have quiet. It's crucial for me. And as someone who is an introvert, I get touched out really, really quickly. And so when there's constantly kids wanting to be picked up, wanting to be held, pushing at me, nudging at me, it can be very triggering for me sometimes. And it can be really, really hard to not lose my mind. This is gonna sound so cheesy. I try and remind myself that I'm going to miss these days so much. I'm going to be so sad when my kids are grown up and moved out of the house and I don't have someone, and I don't have someone wanting to be held. I don't have a little buddy in the house anymore. I'm gonna be so sad, and I'll actually legitimately think about how I would feel in that situation. Imagine my kids being out of the house and I start to get teary-eyed, and then my heart softens a little bit. Daylight saving sleep schedule tips. I have never experienced daylight savings. In Saskatchewan, we don't have daylight savings. I actually didn't even know what it was and for quite a while. When I was younger, I had no idea what daylight savings was. So I'm sorry, I have no advice on that one. How's potty training going? We recently have started making progress. It has been such a long journey. Oh my goodness, it's been a journey. Theo is a hard kid to potty train. Eloise was so easy. She wasn't even 2 and she was dry when she woke up at night, and it didn't take her long to get the idea. But Theo is just, I don't know if it's stubbornness, I don't know if he doesn't quite understand, but we're making some progress. He's starting to catch on, and it's such a sigh of relief because it's been so long that we've been trying to potty train that it just felt like it was never going to happen. Will you try for a VBAC after Will? Yes, absolutely. If it is the Lord's will, we do want to have at least one more baby. If you're unfamiliar with our story and myself, I've had 2 vaginal births and 1 C-section, and his was kind of a really, it was a really scary situation, and he had to come a month early by C-section. It was not a fun experience for me. The C-section went as smoothly as it could have gone, but the entire recovery and everything was really hard for me. And I'm not sure if it is like that for most people or not, but for me, I found it really difficult. I'm still healing from that, even 5 months later. So I absolutely want to try for a VBAC. How prevalent is the idea, talk of Santa in your house around Christmas? I feel like this topic can get a little bit heated. There's a lot of different opinions, and I'm not saying what you do is wrong. I don't think there's any right or wrong answer here. For us, we've chosen not or at least this year, we've decided not to really focus around Santa at all. Is there talk about Santa? Absolutely. But we don't tell our children that Santa is real. I don't think there's anything wrong in the imaginary side of it, but we, for us, want the focus of Christmas to be around Jesus' birth. That's what we're celebrating here, not Santa. Oh my goodness. Orange stains are the worst. We really don't want to fixate on Santa. As a kid, it's really easy to be drawn into that because it's so fun and exciting and magical. Excuse you. But we really want the focus to be around Jesus and Jesus' birth and the reason for him coming to this earth and all of that. So that's what we want the focus to be on. Have you ever thought about getting a dog? Are you dog people? Why or why not? We are not dog people. Never, ever will we have a dog. And that's not something that I'm just gonna say and then like cave in one day when my kids are like, oh mom, can we please have a dog? No, I'm sorry, that is one thing that I'm just not gonna do for my kids. I can be a great mom and not get a dog, okay? Maybe one day we'll get a cat again, but we are just not dog people. I'm also slightly allergic to dogs, so there's another reason. When will William and Theo start sharing a room? When William is pretty much sleeping through the night. So it'll be quite a while yet. One day when he's like 1.5, maybe 2. Do you have puke on your face? It'll be a while, but eventually Theo will move into, actually no, I think Eloise will move into Theo's room because that has a bigger closet. And then Eloise will move into William's room. How old were you when pregnant with each baby? So with Eloise, I had just turned 20. Like I technically would have gotten pregnant when I was 19. And then with Theo, I think I was 21 when I got pregnant with Theo. 23 when I got pregnant with William? Isn't that right? I don't know. This is taking up too much brain power. It's something like that. I'm 25 now. What are your tips for raising young kids in faith and how do you get them engaged? This is something I need to be more diligent in. Obviously we go to church and there's always talk about our faith and what we believe and in everything that we do, the decisions that we make, it's all driven by our faith. So in that way there's a lot of talk about Christianity and the Bible and Jesus, and the kids have lots of Bible storybooks. Eloise loves books. We'll let them watch like Bible shows on TV, Veggie Tales, listen to worship music a lot. What's the verse where it says like the word of God should be like written on our hearts, or let me look it up. In Deuteronomy 6, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates. So really, we just want the word of God to be prevalent in our everyday conversations. It doesn't matter what we're doing. We can talk about the Lord, and we can pray, and we can nurture that and grow that, instill that in our children. And so that is really the goal. It's not to like force it on them, because it's their decision whether they want to believe or not, but it is our duty as parents to teach them how you manage cooking and washing dishes without letting your kids watch TV. I will say 40% of the time, I will turn on a show for them at that time of day, because at that time of day I'm exhausted, they're grumpy. It's easier to turn on a show. They don't watch a lot of TV, but they do sometimes. And so that is usually the time of the day they watch something. But if they're not, I try to get them involved, and they love being involved. Eloise especially loves helping. It gets tricky. It's not easy having them help. It's usually a lot more work and a lot more time consuming, but they love it. And it's a great way to like teach them the value of working and cooking and all of that stuff. After what happened to Sarah's channel, how would you have approached everything being gone? So if you're unfamiliar with what happened recently, Therese, a YouTuber and a dear friend of mine, she got hacked and her channel was gone. In the blink of an eye, it was gone. She has it back now. It came back, praise the Lord. But this hit so close to home for me because in my career with what I do, that is one of my biggest fears, is that it would be just taken away from me. And so it really had me thinking, like, where do I place my trust? Where do I place my value? What would I do in that situation? It put into perspective how temporary things on earth are. Like, you can't trust your job. You can't trust anyone because we are all human. We are all sinners. We make mistakes. Like, we can't put all of our trust in anything on this earth. And the only thing that will remain strong and steady and constant is our God, our Father. He is the only person I can trust. So I know that I can put all my trust in Him. And no matter what happens, no matter what comes my way, I know without a doubt that He will provide for me and my family. I probably would have reacted a lot worse than Sarah did, to be honest. Her faith is so deep and so true, and I really admire that about Sarah. But in a business sense, if it had gone, I would have turned my energy towards other avenues. I would have spent more time on Instagram. I would have started blogging. I would have just focused a lot more on other ways that I can make money. We're gonna set you up on your tummy. We have a train underneath this Christmas tree, and he loves just like laying on his tummy and watching it go round and round. But it's really noisy, so I won't turn it on right now. How is your recovery from C-section going? Do you still have any pain? I'm currently 8 weeks postpartum. My recovery physically has been long. I think it's gone smoothly. I've never had a surgery before, so I don't actually know how recovery usually goes. My doctor says my scar is healing really nicely. I don't really have any pain there anymore, thankfully, and the numbness is starting to go away. I'm starting to get some feeling back. It is still a little sore if it gets like scratched or kicked the wrong way, and it is still a little numb, but it's much better than it was. I'm pretty sure I still have some diastasis recti, which is when your abs split. He's looking at himself in the mirror. Look at that cute little face. And I know I should probably work out and try and fix that just so that I feel stronger, because I don't fully feel like myself because of that. But I just absolutely despise working out. Even as a kid, fun fact about me, I don't know if I've shared this before, but in school, do you know what my lowest grade was? Gym class. Gym class was my lowest grade. I got, was it a 60? In gym, just because I hated it so much. I didn't even want to participate. Do you keep up with pop culture? No. Not even a little. I have no interest in pop culture whatsoever. Nothing. None. At all. It's just gossip. I have no desire for that. It's like sports. I have no desire for that either. Besides family, what brings you the purest joy? The small moments where it's just the Lord and I just feel His presence so purely and deeply. And when I experience Him like that, I'm usually like traveling, like alone on a mountaintop. Not alone, but like alone in the sense like there's not a lot of people up there, in the mountains, in a forest, in nature, just admiring the beauty of His work and His hand. There's one place in particular that I think of, Maui. I've been to Maui a few times, and there's a bamboo forest there, and there's a hike that you can go through, and it's like the most beautiful. Oh, it's just so calming, so relaxing. It's a really long hike. You're in this bamboo forest, and this is the only time I've ever been in a bamboo forest, so that's probably why it's like magical to me. But the bamboo and the wind is just so calming and beautiful and peaceful, and oh, I love it. We went there on our honeymoon. I've been to Maui 3 times, and I think each time we went on that hike. It's just my favorite. Do you see yourself traveling soon, and where would you go? Yes, probably not this winter, because flying is just a pain in the butt right now, and I'm scared to do it with kids. So scared to do it with kids. Going on a road trip in winter isn't the safest thing or the funnest thing in Saskatchewan because of all the snow and the cold. In spring, hopefully, we'll do a road trip somewhere. Christmas present you're most excited to get for your children? Okay, there's a few. I'm so excited for Christmas. Oh, I love Christmas morning and watching my kids open presents. I know it's not all about the gifts, but like, It's fun. There's a couple things for Theo, especially because he's just so into so many things right now. We bought him a remote control. I cannot wait to see his face. That's like totally up his alley. Everything I can't wait. He's also been into like dress up and stuff lately, so we got him a sword and shield that's like made of fabric, so it's not gonna hurt anyone. I think he's really gonna enjoy that as well. Coffee order, Americano Misto, real dairy, delicious. What's your inspo for kitchen renos? I have been working on a mood board for that. I have a Pinterest. I can link my Pinterest below. That really gives a good idea of like the vibe I'm going for, but I've been working on a mood board. I'll see if I can insert a photo of it. Lots of vintage pieces. I really want it to feel like a cottage. Dark wood tones, cozy, a little bit moody. I'm thinking like grayish colored cabinets. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful, guys. It's gonna be so nice and I can't wait. If you could designate 1 hour in the day to do something uninterrupted, what would you do? It really depends on what I'm into, the time of year, you know, stuff like that. But I think right now, I would read. I've started reading again, or I've started reading a book for the first time in years. It's been so many years, but I remembered a book from my childhood when I was like a teenager that I read and I loved. It's a series and I found it in our church library. And I've been reading it again and I'm so intrigued and I miss reading. I love reading. I just haven't made the time for it since having kids. So if I could do anything, I think I would just sit and read. What is something you hated as a kid and love as an adult? Thrifting. Oh, I hated thrifting as a kid. I thought it was disgusting. I didn't give it the time of day. I thought it was terrible. But now it's literally my form of self-care. I love thrifting so much. There's like, it's a treasure hunt. There's something about it that I just crave. I enjoy. What's the last thing that made you laugh really hard? It's a good question. I laugh a lot, but I don't like laugh so hard that I'm rendered useless very often. Whatever it is, it would have to be something to do with Zach because he is hilarious and I love that about him. I think I know, but I need to get Zach's permission in order to share this because I'm not going to embarrass him without his permission. Hi. So I'm filming, and there was a question about something that would potentially embarrass you. Do I have permission to share this?
Yeah, it's fine. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I have his permission. Okay, so it was like a month or two ago. It was the middle of the night. I think William had just woken up and I was just getting him back to sleep. And so I was kind of falling into sleep and all of a sudden Zach like freaks out. He sits up really, really fast. He's like panting and he's legitimately really, really scared. And he's looking around and he's... Oh wait, no! It gets better. He doesn't just sit there. He pulls the blanket up over top of his head and he's sitting under the blanket like this. And so I ask him, what are you doing? And he goes, are scary things happening? This full grown man, father of my children, he's sitting up in bed, rocking back and forth under the blanket asking, are scary things happening? And I like how it was a question, it wasn't a statement. Oh, it was so funny. He was dreaming about something, what I don't know. He was sleep talking, and there's the odd time he'll sleep talk or he'll laugh in his sleep. Not very often. This was the funniest incident. It's so funny. It probably doesn't seem funny to anyone else, but it was hilarious. There were a lot of other really good questions, but I have been filming for a very long time. And my kids will be home soon, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for asking your questions, for listening. If you stayed until now, thank you, because this video is probably going to be so long. If you want to get involved in Q&As like this, if you have a question you've just been like dying to ask me to have in a Q&A, make sure to follow me on Instagram. That's where I ask often. That's where it's easiest for me to gather questions. The odd time I will share on the community tab here on YouTube as well though, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. You want to say bye? Say bye.